Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story is unique because of where it happened. And this story came out of a place called Dolphland. Dolphland, Dolphland, Dolphland. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, what the hell is Dolphland in the United States of America? Well, Dolphland is a self-proclaimed place called Memphis by a rapper by the name of Young Dolph, who recently passed away, who is actually tied in some shape, form, or fashion to this story. Let me explain why. Because in this particular story that involves a baby being shot, and it also involves a father being murdered, the mother of this child, who was also, I guess, assuming in a relationship with the father, actually put out there in the news and said that the reason why her son isn't getting justice and the dad isn't getting justice is because the city of Memphis, aka Dolphland, is more concerned about solving his murder. I have a few things to say about that, and what I'm going to say may or may not sit well with your sensibilities as well as the details in this story. So if you can't handle that, I understand if you need to exit the video. Let's talk about Dolphland. A 9-month-old boy in Memphis, Tennessee is still at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital fighting for his life after being shot at a mall. Of all places. And I'm going to tell you guys something that's very interesting about this particular mall. This apparently is a common thing that happens at this mall. Because I was looking up this story and I actually found a story I believe happened less than a year ago at this same mall. There was another shooting and murder at this mall. So this must be a common thing. But this little boy and his dad was shot at Oak Court Mall on November the 20th. Family members say that Jalen Hill, who was the father, I don't know if I have a clear picture of him. That's partially a clear picture of him right there. Jalen Hill, the father, was shot 5 times. Or excuse me, no. The baby's name is Jalen. Was shot 5 times while his father held him in his arms. So the baby is alive for now, and we do pray and hope that this baby survives and pulls through. But the dad, from the bullets that he took, actually passed away. The dad actually died, but the baby survived. And I'll tell you guys, while I have that picture of the person of interest up here in just a moment. So we'll get back to that here in just a moment. Yasmin Mitchell, who is Jalen's aunt, said that he was shot in the cheek, in the neck, hand, foot, and thigh. She also said he might be in the hospital anywhere from 6 to 8 months. Keep in mind, that's a baby. If you ask me, it sounds like they were targeting the father, and they also targeted the kid because of the father. In my opinion. He's going to spend his first Christmas in the hospital. He's going to have to spend his first birthday in the hospital. And now being told that he maybe had to be fed through his stomach. And that's according to the mom. Jalen's 21-year-old father, Jason, was also shot in the mall parking lot. And sadly, he did not survive. He was just taking Jalen to the mall that day to buy him some shoes and some things for Christmas. The family identifies the victim. Oh, excuse me. We already identified him. So anyway. Now, police are still looking for a shooter who allegedly drove up in a silver Chevy Malibu. Investigators posted pictures of the person of interest on social media, which was this individual. This very round, very thick neck, bald forehead, hairline way back here. If she was in the army, she'd have to salute like this. Yes, sir. Way back there. You'll never find blum, 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 a hairline like hers. Weird, chubby looking chicken. I bet you she probably 19, 20 years old, just round and boom, 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 boom. Just round for no, like, how can you be that young and that round? And walking around, I'm going to tell y'all, this is so weird. These killer criminals, or whatever you want to call it, some weird folks. You walk around busting shots at people in those little slip-on shoes. No, that is not a man. That is actually a woman, a female. Female. That is a female, allegedly. Boy. Or woman. But that's the picture. Mitchell says that she doesn't know why anyone would want to shoot Jason. But I don't want to throw any theories out there because I think it might be a little bit irresponsible in this case. Because a lot of times I have theories, but when you find out where the dad actually worked at, that threw my entire theory out the window. And I was like, okay, well, maybe not. But this does seem intentional. And then you'd have to ask yourself, why? Was somebody mad at the mom? Were they mad at him? Because it had to be either him or the mom. It's only one or two. And because this was a female who shot the dad and the little girl, allegedly, then I would think that it might have been somebody who might have been mad at the mom. But I want y'all to actually listen to the biological mother in this video that I have. I'm going to let you listen to her interview. Now, of course, they didn't have life insurance on this kid, so they put up a GoFundMe. They don't have life insurance on the dad either, as I guess the dad was too young to have life insurance. But nonetheless, there is currently a GoFundMe up by way of somebody named Yazzie B. Y-A-Z-Z-B. Your GoFundMe should automatically be disqualified if your name is Yazzie B. That is so disrespectful. To the people who donate, that is so disrespectful. The fact that these people won't even give you a real name, but they'll give you an alleged real cause to donate $20,000 to. But let me know if I'm wrong. I'm not sure who they're saying that money is for, but they got the little boy's picture up there. So I'm assuming they're probably talking about hospital bills and whatever else. Now, granted, his hospital bills and stuff are going to be very, very high. So, you know, it is what it is. Let me give you guys oh, hold on. Let me not skip that. Hold on real quick. I needed to talk about where the dad works at, which is why I threw my theory out the window. Because I said, well, the dad must have been doing something. Give me a moment. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Hold on just a second. Jason Hill, 21-year-old Jason Hill from Memphis, Tennessee, had been identified by police officials as the man that was shot and killed in a fatal shooting that occurred near Oak Court Mall while holding his 9-month-old son during the weekend. Jason Hill was a native and a longtime resident of Memphis, a city along the Mississippi River in southwestern Shelby County, Tennessee. He attended Whitehaven High School and was a former cashier at Hollister Company, and then became a sales representative with a clothing brand called Ralph Lauren. It doesn't seem like the young man is any stranger to working. He's 21 years old, so a couple years out of high school, he's a salesman. That sounds about right. That sounds about right, because I was doing something similar when I was his age as far as working in sales. I don't think that this young man was doing any illicit activities. Don't mean that he was, but I think that the target might have been the mother, because we believe that it might have been the female that was in that picture, if you can call her that. The person of interest is that person right there. Let me give you guys the fair usage. And they don't have her name yet because they haven't identified that person yet. Here we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Sorry about that. I had to finish it out. Here we go. Let's get it.
They was going to the mall to get Christmas.
And let me preface this. This is the biological mother of that kid. I just want y'all to listen to the interview and just hear what she says and how she speaks.
They was going to the mall to get Christmas gifts. Didn't make it back home.
Tonight, the mother of that 9-year-old baby who was shot at Oak Court Mall is speaking out. The baby was hit several times while in his father's arms. Now, the father did not survive. Fox 13's Jackie Massey is live tonight. Jackie, the mother, is very frustrated with the process of this investigation so far.
Yeah, she's upset, understandably. She claims that the Memphis Police Department is too busy trying to solve young Dolph's murder. She tells me she hasn't heard from officers in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, her baby boy is fighting for his life at Lebanon. A 9-month-old who was shot multiple times is slowly recovering in the hospital. His mother, Danielle Barnes, says someone shot her baby while his father was holding him outside the Oak Court Mall on November 20th. The two just finished holiday shopping.
It's horrible to see your child, who was a healthy baby, when he left with his father at noon. And when you see him at 7 o'clock, he's shot up.
His father, Jason, was also shot but didn't survive. Memphis police are still searching for the shooter who drove off in a dark sedan. Danielle says she hasn't heard from officers since the shooting.
The MPD does not do their job. All they've been worried about is young Dolph case. We have not seen a detective, heard from a detective since November 20th.
I'm going to let y'all hear this again. Let me rewind it.
We've been worried about is young Dolph case. We have.
For those of y'all who said that y'all didn't know why I called it Dolphland, because in a song that Young Dolph said, he said that Memphis is Dolph land. And apparently that's the case if this woman feels like she's not getting any type of police cooperation because their focus is on a dead rapper.
Shooting.
The MPD does not do their job. All they've been worried about is young Dolph case. We have not seen a detective, heard from a detective since November 20th.
And let me tell people who share my skin color a little something. Just as a mere tidbit of information, you would get a lot more help and cooperation, helping the police, giving the police tips, and not what do y'all like to call it? Bashing the police on public airways, huh? It might help you a little bit to get the things that you want if you didn't spend all your time talking crap about these people that you want to help you. How about this, ma'am? If you're talking about what the police aren't doing, well, you saw a picture of that individual. You know you saw that picture of that lady. How about you go out and go and do your own investigations? You know, y'all be all up in people's business and y'all talking all of that type of stuff. And Memphis is not a big place from what I understand. Big landmass, but not a big place. Everybody knows everybody, right? Tell me that they don't know who that woman was that was in that picture. Let me bring that picture back up. Right here. You mean to tell me in this area where everybody knows everybody that they don't know who that is? They know exactly who that is. Her face is not covered by a mask. You can see her face. You can see her shape. You can see what she's wearing. You can see the fact that she apparently can't afford shoes and wearing them worn out slides that are dirty at the bottom, right? With her weave that's glued on to the back of her hairline way back here, right? Y'all know exactly who that is. You know what you could do? You could be using your social media, using your time instead of quote unquote bashing the police, and telling us who that person of interest is. You could do that. Maybe they might care more about your case if you help them rather than hurt them, rather than talking about defunding them. It's funny how that works. The same people you want to work for you, you'll turn around and just continue to talk crap about them. I get it. Let's continue.
Shooting.
The MPD does not do their job. All they've been worried about is young Dolph case. We have not seen a detective, heard from a detective since November 20th.
Danielle is desperate for answers.
Calling them, no calls back. Went down there, we didn't see nobody in person.
She says her son will most likely be in the hospital for several months. In the meantime, she hopes Memphis police arrest whoever did this.
We were very close though. It's still, you don't shoot nobody with their child. It don't matter. If I didn't know them, you don't shoot nobody with their child, period.
Fox 13 reached out to the Memphis Police Department about Danielle's claims, and I was only told that the investigation is ongoing. On that family, they're grieving, and they're also planning the father's funeral. Reporting live in the medical district, Jackie Massey, Fox 13.
A breaking news update here on News Channel 3, first at 4. A family in mourning after the death of a 21-year-old father. Family members tell us Jason Hill died after he was shot at Oak Court Mall, holding his 9-month-old son. This afternoon, police are still looking for the gunman. Thank you for joining us. I'm April Thompson.
I'm Alex Coleman. WREG Shay Arthur spoke with the victim's mother, who says she needs answers in this case.
Flashing police lights illuminate the Oak Court Mall parking lot Saturday night. Tonight, we're learning more about those involved. A woman identifying herself as the mother of 21-year-old Jason Hill said her son died after he was shot. Shot while holding his 9-month-old son, Jalen. Jalen suffered gunshot wounds too. Tonight, he's at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. Family members told us Hill had just picked up his son and had gone to the mall to go Christmas shopping. Relatives have no idea why the young father would be targeted, saying he worked 2 jobs. He was a people person and knew everyone. Initially, Memphis police said 2 people had been detained, but today they tell us they're looking for 1 man who has not been arrested. Hill's mother said she's waiting to hear back from detectives about their investigation. But hopefully cameras at the busy mall and surrounding businesses can provide clues. Cameras captured men wanted for shootings at the mall back in 2018. The use of cameras to help investigators was a topic Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis recently talked to us about.
We're looking at expanding not just the cameras that the city owns, but also expanding our camera network into private sector cameras, exterior cameras on businesses as well, and also license plate readers to identify stolen vehicles.
For the family of Hill and his young son now facing his own recovery battle, hopefully cameras or witnesses can provide the clue police need to bring them justice. Shay Arthur, WREG, News Channel 3.
And if you know anything that could help police, you're asked to contact Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. We do want to let you know we also reached out to Oak Court Mall for a statement about security measures, but so far have not heard back.
Yeah, so apparently you can reach out to 901-528-CASH. So you guys make sure that, well, not y'all, but the people out there in Memphis can make sure that the biological mother knows that phone number, 901-528-CASH, especially if she knows that person of interest. Y'all can figure out that woman's name, give up her name, and maybe y'all might be able to get a reward for turning in information that the police need. Very simple. Let's keep going.
It's horrible to see your child, who was a healthy baby when he left with his father at noon, and when you see him at 7 o'clock, he's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen Hill is fighting for...
Oh, I did not catch that. Oh, my goodness. Did y'all notice that? Let me rewind this. I didn't even notice that till just now. Watch the mother's reaction. Are y'all listening? Watch. Watch this. Watch again.
It's horrible to see your child, who was a healthy baby when he left with his father at noon, and when you see him at 7 o'clock, he's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I viewed this wrong. But it looked like after she talked about her child being shot up, she appeared to turn her head, smile, and laugh. Am I wrong? Did I see this wrong? Let me show you again. Listen at the very last thing that she said before she turned, laughed, and smiled. I could be totally wrong.
It's horrible to see your child, who was a healthy baby, when he left with his father at noon. And when you see him at 7 o'clock, he's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen Hill is fighting for...
He's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen...
He's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms.
And y'all wonder why I'm pointing the finger at the mom? That the mom might have been the target? And then somebody was just trying to hurt the mom?
He's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen...
Come on, y'all. I know somebody out there who knows her is going to make an excuse and say, oh, well, it was because of such and such. Somebody please tell me what was funny when she said, my son is shot up, turns and laughs. You said shot up your child that you gave birth to, and there's something comical about that?
7 o'clock, he's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen Hill is fighting for his life tonight, and he will grow up without his dad. Tonight, his mother is speaking out, and only to Fox 13.
I can't, man.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Daryl Green. Merle Purvis is off this evening. Almost 2 weeks ago now.
Y'all think it was a setup? Some people in the chat, and y'all can read the chat. I'm looking at the chat now, so my fault. I'm looking at it now. Some people in the chat are saying that this could have been a setup. You know what? I don't think that's very far-fetched at all, especially the fact that she has no remorse and she laughed. I have no idea what her relationship was like with the biological dad. You know, did they have some arguments? Were they together? Was he not paying his child support? I don't know what was going on. Was it a setup? I have no idea. I want to say no. My initial thought was I wanted to say no. Maybe she was just emotionless. But then when I saw her laugh, now I'm just like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Something's really, really wrong. Y'all better share this. Hit that thumbs up and share this. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think that person is in the right when you're talking about somebody laughing, talking about your own child being shot up multiple times.
Healthy baby, when he left with his father at noon. And when you see him at 7 o'clock, he's shot up.
A 9-month-old baby shot several times in his father's arms. Little Jalen Hill is fighting for his life tonight, and he will grow up without his dad. Tonight, his mother is speaking out, and only to Fox 13.
This is why whenever y'all are watching the news might have just put that out there to say, because they could have cut that off, but they chose not to. And they said, look, America, look at what y'all might be missing. And it's right there in front of your face. We're not going to say it, but we're going to leave it up to y'all to make a judgment on that. They intentionally left that laughing part in there. They didn't cut that out.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Daryl Green. Merle Purvis is off this evening. Almost 2 weeks ago now, someone fired shots at little Jalen's father, killing the father outside of Oak Court Mall. Fox 13's Jackie Massey joins us live in the medical district. Jackie, that's where the baby boy is being treated. How's he doing?
Yes, he's in the hospital, and doctors told the mother he'll be here for another few months. Now, it all started with a little boy was shopping with his father for Christmas gifts. All of a sudden, both of them were shot, and now he's spending the holidays in the hospital without a father.
They was going to the mall to get Christmas gifts, didn't make it back home.
A Christmas shopping trip turned deadly when police say someone fired shots at a father who was holding his baby outside the Oak Court Mall on Saturday, November 20th. The mother, Danielle Barnes, was at home when she heard about the shooting.
Could not tell that was my child when we went down there to see him. We didn't know who that baby was, but it was my son.
Danielle says her son, Jalen Hill, was shot multiple times. His father, Jason, was also shot, but didn't survive.
We were very close, though. It's still, you don't shoot nobody with their child. It don't matter. If I didn't know them, you don't shoot nobody with their child, period.
Danielle doesn't understand why someone would do this. Fast forward 2 weeks later, Memphis police are still searching for the shooter who drove off in a dark-colored sedan. Meanwhile, 9-month-old Jalen is slowly recovering in the hospital.
This was going to be his first Christmas. He already spent his first Thanksgiving in the hospital.
Danielle hopes her son is able to celebrate his first birthday in February outside of a hospital room. She says the greatest birthday gift would be for the shooter to get arrested.
How would you feel if somebody walked out the mall and shot your child and shot your husband? How would you feel? My point exactly. You don't know how to feel because it's not you.
I don't know why they talk to people like that. How would you feel if that was your child? Exactly. Like, you didn't even give her a chance to respond. Like, why do we do stuff like that? But you're asking for justice. The same news crew and police that are trying to help solve this case, you thumb your nose at them and talk crap and laugh and wonder why we get no results.
The mother says they're in the process of making funeral arrangements for the father, and coming up tonight, 10, you'll be hearing her demands for the police department. Reporting live in the medical district, Jackie Massey, Fox 13 News.
Thank you, Jackie. Now, last check, this woman is still wanted in connection with the death of Jason Hill. Memphis police say she's a person of interest in this case. We also know whomever is responsible for this shooting left the scene in a silver car, possibly a Chevy Malibu. That's all according to police. If you know anything, please call the MPD.
So let me address this, because I thought that was a very important point that somebody in the chat brought up, especially after watching that lady laugh. And they asked, was this a setup? Was the biological father set up by his baby mom? I wouldn't put it past her. I definitely wouldn't put it past her, because I thought that was a very, very strange response, especially when you're talking about speaking on your child being shot and your baby dad. Two things that most people will probably get emotional about, potentially cry, maybe get mad, but laugh. Laughing is probably the last thing that I would do if my child were hurt. Even if there's something mentally deranged, something wrong with you, I don't think you would ever laugh about talking about your child being in such a horrible situation. No matter what you've been through. It don't matter if there are people who have been to war that have fought for our country. Hello. Shout out to our people that have served our country. Thank you. That have served our country and still have emotion and remorse and all of that stuff. I don't see them laughing about somebody being shot and killed. And they might have seen the worst stuff that nobody would ever want to see. It's just something that's not right about that. But in my opinion, no, as of right now, no, I don't think the mother has any involvement in setting her baby dad up. No, I don't. Okay? I don't believe that. But what I do believe is that the woman who was a person of interest, that big burly looking woman, might have been jealous or might have been mad at her. Like, it seems to me that she probably got a slick mouth, probably say a lot of stuff that you might want to do something to her. So instead of her taking out on her, she might have took it out on her baby and baby dad so she could live to feel that pain and that hurt. That's what I believe. But again, I also believe that they probably knew the woman that did it and they just not talking. Street code or whatever bullcrap you want to call it, I still think that it's a horrible thing that if you saw something, said something, know something, and don't do something about it and report that information to the police, then what justice can you be sitting there mad at the police for not giving you when you won't even help you get to that point? So we're gonna pray for that baby and hope that that baby survives. R.I.P. to the father of that child. Because it seems like, based on what I understand, that he was a good father. So that's a very, very sad thing. But let's pray that this baby makes a full recovery, that we can find out what really actually happened. We get the real story. So I'm DJ Just Jay with AFC, where we're going to continue to advocate for our babies first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank y'all for listening with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you.